Welcome back, our dear viewers. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry concluded his visit to Brussels, where he held a series of meetings on the sidelines of his participation in the European Union Foreign Ministers Convention. With the participation of Foreign Minister Shoukry, a delegation of the Arab Ministerial Committee held meeting with European Union officials on halting war in the Gaza Strip. To shed more light on that, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Ayman Mourad, Professor of International Law. Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you. How are you doing?
Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. Doctor, how do you see the importance of Egypt's participation and Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry's participation in the meetings of the Ministerial Committee held at the European Union to discuss halting the war in the Gaza Strip?
Actually, the European Union holds Foreign Affairs Council once a month. And this is a very important opportunity for foreign affairs ministers, and also they might have ministers of defense for the European Union, and for ministers of foreign affairs from different regions of the world to participate in these conventions to exchange opinions about different situations on the international arena. So it's very, very important for Egypt to participate, and for all the Arab countries to participate in these international events, especially a big entity like the European Union.
Sir, also Foreign Minister Shoukry met with Mr. Michael Martin, and they discussed the developments in the humanitarian and security situation of the Israeli genocide war on the Gaza Strip and the Palestinian city of Rafah. What is the latest developments regarding these discussions and the situation on the ground, and what measures here after these meetings should be implemented on the ground in order to try to find a solution to the very developing situation on the ground?
Actually, last Sunday, May 26th, Mr. Sameh Shoukry, Minister of Foreign Affairs, met Mr. Martin, his counterpart for Irish Foreign Affairs, and they talked and discussed the security situation in Gaza and the humanitarian situation in Gaza in light of the Israeli ongoing operations in the Palestinian conflict. And in this meeting, they exchanged their points of view, and we all see a kind of agreement and merge between the two countries concerning the situation in Gaza, especially the very privileged situation of Ireland and its intention to declare its recognition of the Palestinian state. We know that Ireland is a pro-Palestinian country, one of the pro-Palestinian countries, because, you know, Ireland has suffered from colonialism and imperialism for a long time. So Ireland is one of the important countries that are keen to find a lasting peaceful solution for the Palestinian cause.
Indeed. Also, the diplomats stressed the importance of the unifying all international efforts to achieve a ceasefire in the Strip and to halt the military operation in the Palestinian city of Rafah due to its massive humanitarian repercussions, as we have seen in the past few days in particular. What is the extent here of agreements between both countries? And also the foreign minister met with other officials concerning this very critical issue as well.
Actually, Ireland has a very privileged and prominent situation concerning the Palestinian cause, which he agrees and goes along with the Arab point of view, which is a lasting political solution. They talked about, of course, ceasefire, they talked about humanitarian aid, they talked about the day after, but even in the conference that had the Spanish and Irish and Norway, the coalition conference, they all talked about that these are maybe temporary solution, but this what are not they are looking for. They are looking for lasting solution, political solution. So this is that's what this is the core of the idea between the Arab countries, between Egypt, and between these countries, that they need lasting political solution. This is the most important point in the convention and in the meeting.
Yes, indeed. So as you have kindly mentioned that Spain, Norway and Ireland are expected to recognize today, as we are expecting a UN Security Council meeting later today, to recognize the Palestinian state. How do you see the importance of such a move by these three European countries, and what could be its effect on the situation here?
The tension or the move from these three countries to recognize Palestinian state is very important and crucial in that time. Although it might not have maybe immediate effect on the ground, but it's very important because three of these countries, which are Ireland and Spain, they belong to the European Union. Norway is not a EU member, but it belongs to the Schengen area. And you know that at the time being, we have 143 countries that recognize Palestine. And if these countries go to that move, and they said they have identified an exact moment, but they are on the trail to recognize the Palestinian state. And this is important because we see that the number of countries and states recognizing the Palestinian state are on the rise since 1988, when President Yasser Arafat, the president of the PLO, established an independent Palestinian state. And at that time, like 78 countries and states recognized the Palestinian state. And this number escalated to be 139 in 2012, and then it moved now to be 143. So, of course, this affects the situation, and this sends an important message for Israel and the international community, that the international community is moving toward a political solution, and Israel is more isolated because of its offensive humanitarian offensive on the civilians in Gaza. So this is very important because it sends an important message for the whole international community and the whole world. This is very important, of course, indeed.
Yes, indeed. Sir, actually back to Mr. Shukri's meetings in Brussels. During the meeting, the foreign ministers stressed the importance of the European side and the role of the international community putting pressure on Israel to comply with the provisions of the international law and international humanitarian law by stopping the war in Gaza, which is a real genocide. Can you shed more light on that?
Yes, of course, the efforts of the international community to reach a permanent ceasefire in Gaza is very important, because no state alone can get Israel to cease fire in what we see now, that fully supported by the U.S. and Egypt and other Arab countries are mediating to get to a ceasefire agreement. But every time Israel does not comply with these agreements, even Israel didn't comply with the ruling of the International Court of Justice. But we have seen a lot of efforts from the international community beginning, if we go back for like 7 months or something, we have seen that the UN General Assembly has adopted several resolutions for humanitarian truce, although it is non-binding according to the UN Charter, but it's a very important mark in the international community. We have seen that the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres resorted to his power to invoke Article 99 of the UN Charter to pressure the Security Council to convene to find a solution for this problem. We have seen in European countries, we remember the conference on Gaza in Paris. We have seen some European countries calling for the European Union to pick sides. We have seen Joseph Borrell, the High Representative of the UE Foreign Affairs and Security, spelled out a 10-point roadmap to solve the conflict. We have seen big international efforts all over the world to end this tragedy.
Yes. Sir, how do you see the role of the international community so far as the situation is intensifying in Gaza? We have seen late on Sunday this massive bombardment by the Israeli against the civilians in Rafah. Many did lose their lives, especially women and children. Complete genocide which is increasing every day, and yet nothing concrete on the ground was made against these crimes against humanity. So what should be done here from the international community from your point of view?
Actually, I like the comment of the Spanish Foreign Affairs Minister in his coalition with Ireland and Norway, when he said in this conference that we have been hearing a lot that Israel is violating the international law, but no, now we know it. We have seen it after the International Court of Justice issued or made a resolution concerning that Israel shall halt its offensive in Gaza, and this is a week ago. And after this, like by 3 or 4 days, we see Israel bombard refugee camps that Israel designated it as a safe area for the Palestinians. So I see that the Spanish Foreign Minister summarized how the world see this concretely on the ground, because you know there is a media and counter media, and Israel says no, it's not us, it's the Hamas. And now the International Court of Justice, which is the higher legal entity in the world, made a resolution on Friday to hold offensive in Rafah. After that, by 3 days, you still bombard the civilians and innocents in Rafah. So now all the international community can see physically and on the ground how Israel violates the international law and does not go with the international norms.
Yes, indeed. Sir, as the Arab Ministerial Committee held its meeting with European Union officials in Brussels, the attendees called for the establishment of an independent Palestinian state, the ratification by the United Nations Security Council of an international peacekeeping force in line with the international laws. How do you see this statement which was issued by the attendees there?
Actually, the attendees there produced an Arab paper calling for a final and peaceful solution or political solution for this cause and issue, beginning from the ceasefire and the end of the war, of course. And I need to say something about the two-state solution that Arab have always called for, and now a lot of countries, even Norway, Spain, and Ireland, called for a two-state solution. For our audience to be oriented with this point, actually there is a United Nations General Assembly resolution, very famous, which is number 181, and this was in 1947, after the power of mandate, which was the United Kingdom, decided to withdraw from the Palestinian land. So before they withdraw, they said, okay, we need to make some kind of peaceful settlement, because things cannot go like this between the Jewish and the Arab in the same land. It will be it won't be peaceful. So the United Nations General Assembly made this resolution, which said that there must be kind of a partition. We have to have Arab state and Jewish state. So this is legal, and this is founded in the international law in 1947. What all the countries and all the states are doing later, they are trying to say we need to get this decision to reality. They are not saying something which is not in the law. They are not saying something which is new. They are saying we need to get this, we need to apply this resolution, and this is the start of the issue, and this is all the Arab countries have called for, and Egypt and all the mediators.
Yes. Also, sir, the Irish Foreign Minister indicated that the European Union and its member states are continuing to discuss ways out of the crisis. Can you see here how from your point of view, we can find a way out? And to what extent the only way out could be through a political solution to the crisis?
I don't see any way out away from political solution, and that's why the world have reached after 7 months of war in Gaza, and we Arab countries and Egypt have been calling for a political solution, and even the world has been calling for a political solution for decades. But I think at that time, some countries of the world was not convinced that that might be the final solution. They felt that it might be a military solution or something like this. But now, all the world can see that the only solution is political solution. And as I said, it is built on the resolution number 181 in 1947. And also we need to emphasize a very important point, that Palestine is already a state since 2012. Since 2012, according to General Assembly resolution, they recognize Palestine as observer non-member state, but it's a state, not a member, because it can't be a member without the recommendation and the approval of the Security Council. And you know the Security Council will have the veto. But the General Assembly has the right to recognize a state, but it doesn't have the legal complete right to get it to be a member in the United Nations itself without the approval of the Security Council. Palestine is already a state since 2012. The territories of Palestine are mentioned very clearly in the 1947 resolution. So everything on papers and in the international law and in the international society is already settled. We just need to put pressure on Israel and the countries who support Israel to apply that on the ground.
Indeed. Dr. Ayman Salah Mourad, Professor of International Law, thank you so much, sir, for being with us and for your precious input. Our dear viewers, now we'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to continue our segments in the breakfast show, so stay tuned.